Hey guys, this video is from our latest Rick and Johnny podcast. Make sure to check out the full podcast on blogtalkradio.com/Rick and Johnny. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I know Johnny and I had fun recording it.
This podcast is brought to you by Most Valuable Podcasts, saving your day from boredom with the best podcasting entertainment.
What's up, everybody? Ricky Widmer here, along with fellow man-child Johnny Karlic.
We're gonna get swifty.
And Johnny, today is a special Rick and Johnny podcast because this past Friday, if you guys haven't already, a graphic conversation is back.
Yes.
Mark and I read Wonder Woman Spirit of Truth. After you're done checking out this, you should definitely go ahead and read that and listen to that podcast because it's a great kind of book club for comic nerds that love to read graphic novels and then kind of discuss them.
Yes.
But a special occasion happened. I have been calling you since February when we started this podcast, my fellow man-child Johnny Karlic. On Friday, that mantle had been officially passed ceremoniously without you being there to you. So you are now officially the fellow man-child.
Awesome.
The reason being is Mark would always call me fellow man-child Ricky Widmer. Can't do that anymore because now you're the fellow man-child. He has now dubbed me the original man-child.
He is now the OG
so I am
man-child.
the OMC and you are the FMC. Fellow man-child, original man-child. And I just had to give that news and let you know that you are now officially the fellow man-child here on MVP. But we have a jam-packed show. We're going to be looking at some DC, some news on the Justice League front as for tragic reasons, Joss Whedon going to take over the directing duties from Zack Snyder.
Yes.
We're going to get into that. We're going to look at Marvel Spider-Man Homecoming trailer. Numero Tres came out. We're going to look at that, but also we're going to ask the question of who's Donald Glover going to play? He actually had lines in this trailer.
Yeah, which kind of, if you throw it in the trailer, it makes it a little important.
And, I mean, IMDb still has nothing there for him, so we're going to look at who he could play and then our reactions to the trailer. And then we're ending the podcast looking at Game of Thrones. We got a Game of Thrones trailer. Cersei kind of telling us some stuff. We're going to look at what we think is coming up for the next season of Game of Thrones based on that trailer. But, Johnny, we're going to start in DC land. And Joss Whedon, it has been reported that he is going to take over directing duties. I know that you're saying he's a traitor for not only being the director of the new Batgirl movie that DC is going to come out with, but now directing Justice League. Taking over for Zack Snyder, who tragically had to step down. Yeah. Lost his daughter and thought he'd be able to continue on. Had to step down. Thought he'd
dive into his work. And
yeah, our condolences are with Zack Snyder. Yes. But this is huge news. And Joss Whedon taking over, I'm going to ask you your reaction, kind of kick it over to you, but I want to ask you with this question, because I was talking to our own Dave Oster here at Most Valuable Podcast, and he kind of stressed a little bit of worry because the thing that he mentioned was whenever you get this in any movie, when a director steps away this far into the process, like Justice League's coming out in November. We're getting it later this year. How is that going to affect this movie? And is it going to affect it negatively because you're going to get half the movie in one style and then half the movie in another style? Like, is this going to change the style of the movie a little bit to where you're looking, you're going, okay, I can notice that two directors had their hand in this cookie pot?
That would be a worry. And you know what? That's a very good possibility now that you mention it. I wasn't thinking of that before.
I didn't even think of it either. I was just excited because I love Joss Whedon and I loved what he's able to do with the Avengers.
Well, I mean, if he has enough time, hopefully for himself, he maybe some parts that he goes back and says, you know what? I don't like how this one went. I can go and change it real quick. Even if it's just within editing. Like not even like re-recording stuff and getting the cast back from that. Yeah, because they're getting kind of close, seeing as it's what you said, November this year.
Yeah, it's right now. I mean, Justice League is he was technically he's on as a writer, but now he's stepping into that director role, obviously, because Zack Snyder has stepped off there. According to IMDb, they're in post-production right now.
Okay.
So a lot of the stuff, to me, I look at, okay, now that you're in post-production, a lot of it is probably reshoots. So if you're doing any reshoots, those might be a little different. But to me at this point, all the post-production stuff has to be what you were mentioning, just different edits. And it's like, well, you know what? Maybe because we decided to do this now differently with me stepping in, let's go ahead and change this as well. So the continuity is all the same. And the one thing...
Yeah, exactly.
And the one thing the reason why I don't have worry about this coming in is because who's the one that we know has been the one to oversee this ever since Wonder Woman. Wonder Woman's going to be our first taste, and I'm loving it. Every single trailer that I get, I can't wait to go see it this upcoming Friday with you and give our review next week of Wonder Woman. But Jeff Johns has been here to kind of see that the characters are who they are from the comic books, that they are staying true to the characters. So, I mean, Joss Whedon coming in, I mean, I don't think it's going to affect Justice League too much. I don't think it's going to be one thing here or there where it's like, wow, a lot of stuff got changed. I just think he's stepping in to kind of finish out what a director, because you need a director for the movie, but I think really a lot of it is just Jeff Johns saying, hey, let's keep this to the characters. Let's make sure we don't get anywhere too far. So I don't think Joss Whedon has to come in and kind of rewrite anything or kind of change anything that had already happened.
You said he was already on it in the first place. So
IMDb has him as a writer.
So he was already a writer.
Additional scenes.
Yeah, but his stuff, that means, was already in there. And he can change like a little bit of the continuity like we're talking about, because it's not going to be like... I doubt that at this point they're going to say, hey, I'm going to scrap all these scenes and throw my vision of them in there. No, he might have them tweaked in different ways. In different ways, he might tweak them. More so in the post-production part of it now, because it's kind of getting to that point of, well, it's either we jump out and say, hey, we're pushing back the date to this, which I don't think they want to do.
Yeah, I don't think they want to do that either.
So it's like, well, I'm just going to have, like, when they do the editing, I'm going to throw these things in there, and it will make it more of my continuity for it. And the thing is, I have a good feeling with him doing it, even though you're a traitor.
Johnny being that strict Marvel guy.
I'm
Can't let DC
guy.
Have some fun.
Hey, he's
Can't
our
let
guy.
us have a good movie.
You know what? No, he's our guy, because you know what? He's the one that put the Avengers together.
He put the Avengers together and had them fight Ultron.
Yeah.
He wrote that.
Well, that's what I'm saying. That's why I have a good feeling about this. Well, I'm saying that's why I have a good feeling about this movie, because he's already done it twice of putting two superhero teams together. Well, one superhero team together twice.
This would be the second one.
Yeah, this will be
the completely other superhero team.
Yeah, so this will be a second superhero team put together. He already put the same superhero team together twice. And I mean, that's a big. I feel like that's a big feat for a movie, because it's a lot of things you're already bouncing around in a movie, and he did a great continuity of, hey, we gotta focus on him and her and him, and yeah, he did a really good job of doing that twice, especially with adding Vision and Ultron, Quicksilver, and Scarlet Witch into the second one. So yeah, I mean, that we're like kind of dropping a few people out from that number of heroes down to the same one as the beginning.
And I mean, I'm looking at the last film he directed was Age of Ultron. So Age of Ultron was the last one he directed, and the last 4 things he had directed was Avengers in 2012. Then also in 2012, Much Ado About Nothing, and then in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., the pilot episode, and Age of Ultron. So 3 of his last 4 things done have been something in the superhero world. And one of the things I like to note is from the article on superherohype.com, they even mentioned WB, their president, saying that with the change of directors, and I quote, "We're not introducing any new characters. It's the same characters in some new scenes. He's handing a baton to Joss, but the course has already been set by Zack. I still believe that despite this tragedy, we'll still end up with a great movie." So I look at that quote and I think, first off, he's talking about there were a lot of people kind of thinking that, oh, Joss Whedon's coming on. Are they going to throw something in there with Batgirl? Are they going to maybe at the end or towards the end or a post-credit scene?
Yeah, and you know what?
Is there going to be something with Batgirl related to kind of push it into that? So right away he's saying we're not introducing any new characters. Now, they could throw kind of a homage to Batgirl without having a cast. Maybe it's like Commissioner Gordon mentioned something in a
about his niece
post-credit scene.
Or his daughter.
His daughter.
My bad.
But the second part of that quote, the WB president even says that the work has already been laid out by Zack.
Yeah.
He's just kind of handing this baton over to Joss. So I kind of see that, and it makes me worried a little bit in the sense of I'm not worried because Joss Whedon's a great director.
Yeah, he is.
And no matter what they ask him to do, he's going to do a great job. The first Avengers, loved it.
Amazing.
It was one of the best Marvel movies that I've seen.
It's one of those feelings you cannot really. It's hard to top.
It was a fun summer blockbuster.
It was.
That's what it was, and that was also a different time because we'd never had all
Superhero
those
team
heroes
before.
in one movie at one time. I'll be honest, Age of Ultron it was a good movie. I felt satisfied, but that was one where it didn't come close to that first Avengers, and there are obviously some other Marvel movies that I would put ahead of Age of Ultron. Although, point being standing, I went to see that movie, and I still had a good time.
Yeah.
And I'm confident that he's going to do a good job in whatever he's asked to do. My only worry after reading this quote is that, well, we've already seen what DC has been with Zack Snyder as a director, and I'm just saying there's a lot of hate out there for Zack Snyder in his directing.
Yeah.
Like, we've even seen on some of the comments on our video of, like, they just need to get Zack Snyder out from directing these movies. A little worry of mine is that, okay, well, this all happened when it was like, okay, he's just passing the baton. Everything's been laid out. How much is Joss Whedon really going to be able to imprint his own fingerprints onto this project? Or is it just going to be, well, I'm the director. I have the title, but everything's done.
Yeah, basically, I mean, that could just be the option. Then in that case, we just have another Zack Snyder film, which, I mean, I'm not a huge fan of what DC's done so far, but I'm not going to say he's a bad director either. It's just I feel like maybe that's just not his thing then.
Man of Steel, I didn't have a problem with. I mean, it's not what you're used to Superman being.
Yeah, I think that's what my issue is.
But I remember going to see that movie, and my only big gripe was, what, we get no post-credit scene?
Oh.
That was my big gripe, is like, come on. Marvel's done it. You got to follow suit. You got to get us excited for the next movie coming out. Then, I mean, Batman v Superman came out, and I basically wanted to burn the theater down. That's how angry
I do remember your
I
reaction. You were furious.
Furious. Well, and here's the thing with Batman v Superman. I went to see it with you guys.
Yeah. Was
furious. Then a couple days later, I went to go see my family. Was around. It had to be around Thanksgiving. Was that what it was? That what
I think
was around?
so.
Christmas or Thanksgiving? Because I think it was Thanksgiving. I went to my family's house in Michigan. My cousin Karen had not seen it. I said, fuck it, let's go. I spent more money on that movie basically to go see it with her, and all we did the entire movie was just make fun of it and trash on it. And if we could do it, because we were the only ones in the theater on Thanksgiving, and we were just able to just make fun of the movie the entire time.
Yeah.
Make fun of it, like, and actually talk to each other and have a conversation, because no one else was in the theater but us. But that's the only thing I worry about, is that, okay, there's not enough there for Joss Whedon to put his fingerprints on, his impressions.
Yeah.
If he's able to get in and put some impressions on it, then it would be like, oh, well, this is going to be a good movie, because I've seen what Joss Whedon can do, and I'm confident in what he can do. Not just in the genre itself. I also liked Buffy the Vampire Slayer growing up as a kid. One of my favorite shows growing up.
Yeah.
That I liked. You also have the Avengers. You got Age of Ultron. You got to let him put some of his fingerprints on it.
Hopefully he can. I don't know how many at this point he can is the only issue. So yeah, I get what you're saying, and I very well agree with you. It's gonna. I basically, when we go see it, is when we're gonna see how much of Joss Whedon got to put his hands into it. Let's put it this way: this movie is a batch of cookies. Zack Snyder made the dough. He rolled it all together. He laid them out. Now, did Joss Whedon get to do one little thing before they go into the oven, or are they already in the oven? He just kind of got to take them out and let them cool.
Well, and this is the last thing I'm going to kind of
hungry.
Throw out there. Yeah, you made us hungry. But Wonder Woman.
Yes.
And I feel like the Wonder Woman movie is going to set up, well, obviously, it's going to set up where the DC universe is going.
Yeah, which direction, which path we're going to take down.
Because the thing I look at is the screenplay was not written by Zack Snyder. Zack Snyder was one of the 3 people that came up with the story, but didn't do the screenplay, just did the story.
Okay.
And I look at the director, Patty Jenkins is the director. So Zack Snyder didn't direct Wonder Woman.
Okay.
If Wonder Woman comes out and we're blown away by it, not even just wow, that was a really good, it's finally good to have a DC movie. If we're coming out of that going, holy shit, that's one of the best movies I think I've seen all year. If we're coming out that hyped on it, like afterwards,
yeah,
then I might be DC looking over and going, whatever we did for that, let's do it again.
Exactly.
Let's do it again. If it means having, okay, Zach, you can do, we'll have you do the stories. You can do the stories and be the story by, but we got to get someone in here to direct it. Like,
yeah,
and
exactly.
And this is a tricky thing of DC is in a, I'm going to say, panic situation. If Wonder Woman, I know I didn't want this to go completely to it, but it's got to be tied in, and we're going to obviously review it next week. If Wonder Woman flops, and when I say flops, I don't mean like doesn't make the money, because of course it's going to make its money.
No, it flops as in it's not a good movie.
Yes, if it flops in that sense.
One of those I won't go see it again type things.
It could be the dagger or the beginning of the dagger for the DCEU.
Yeah, exactly. No, I completely agree with that too. This is a Wonder Woman coming next week for us. Will kind of be the telltale of what path we're going to go down. Are we going to take the bright sunny path and with the bunnies and the rainbows, or the scary one with darkness and overgrown trees doing that type of thing?
See, and that's the thing I am excited about Wonder Woman, because when I say like it looks dark, I don't mean like it looks dark. I just mean it looks realistic. And
exactly.
That's
I completely
all you
agree.
have to do.
What I'm saying is
Batman v Superman dark. Where
yeah,
it's like, did they shoot this movie entirely at night?
Well,
they shoot it all at
not
night?
that exactly. I'm saying one path or the other. The one where it goes really well and we're super hyped about it, or the one that Batman v Superman kind of took.
Yeah, where we kind of took it out back and we don't talk about it anymore.
We hit it with the shovel once or twice.
It's pretty much done at that point. But yeah, I didn't like Batman v Superman. I know there are some people out there that did, and I'm not saying that your opinion is lessened. I didn't like the movie, and I think Wonder Woman will be better. I hope Justice League is... I'd even settle for a good movie.
Yeah.
I would. And, I mean, from the last trailer we got, I was excited for it, especially with kind of the humor that we're getting from Barry Allen and Batman. And
even Aquaman.
Even the Parademons, who I wasn't super excited about in BVS.
Yeah.
They even look cool. Now that I've been able to digest it, it's cool. It's just the way you threw it in. You threw way too much at me with Batman v Superman.
Completely agree.
To where I couldn't digest it. But Johnny, any last thoughts on Joss Whedon, on him taking over Justice League, on any worries or things that we should be excited about come November?
For your sake,
for my sake,
for your sake of your comic book side, I think it's gonna be good as long as he's got some trickle in there.
I hope he can get his hands on stuff.
On something to throw like a little twist of his at least in there.
Yeah.
Otherwise, this is like Wonder Woman is going to be kind of the make or break of which path you guys are going down.
And they also can't have it to where Wonder Woman sets a high bar and then Justice League goes right back to...
Yeah, exactly.
Or even lower than where they were before.
Exactly. So you got to hope that Wonder Woman at least makes it to the midpoint, if not up here. Mm-hmm. And Batman v Superman, even if just Wonder Woman comes here and Batman v Superman, or not Batman v Superman, Justice League is here...
You're scaring me calling it Batman v Superman.
Sorry. We were just talking about it a minute ago.
You're putting my hopes really low by calling it BVS.
So Wonder Woman, even if Wonder Woman shoots up here and then Justice League is down here, I think they have a chance with that. But if you just shoot back down to Batman v Superman, you're in a lot of trouble.
Yeah, and that's the only thing that I worry about is I want Wonder Woman to be good. I think it's going to be good.
Yeah.
But does it set the bar too high? I mean... I hope that it sets the bar and it's like, that's the bar and that's where we're at. But I'll be honest, the way DC has gone, I'm really nervous when it comes to their movies. It's not like another franchise's movies that I'm pretty much excited to go see and I don't have to worry about them all too much. So this is where we're going to turn it on, though, into you guys. Let us know down below in the comment section. What do you think about Joss Whedon taking over? Do you think he's going to get any fingerprints on this film? Do you think it'll affect the film in any way? Let us know down below in the comment section.
I don't know about this, Rick.
Just do it, Morty.
Thank you for watching Most Valuable Podcast video. If you want to watch more of them, just watch them right here. And thank you for watching.